For many years in the NBA, there has always looked to be a dominant conference. In the 70s, some of the 80s and 90s, it was the East, but almost ever since then, the West has always been far superior. Like, really far superior. It really wasn't even close. And conferences seem to be extremely top-heavy, especially in the 2010s. The best teams, for example, the Miami Heat, would be amazing, while the Charlotte Hornets were lucky if they won a game every 8 tries. Yikes. But ever since the Warriors in 2018 with their championship win, even though they won again in 2022, the NBA became wide open. There was no longer a monopoly over the NBA by the West. In fact, since then, it's been an even 2-2 split between what conference won the NBA Finals. Some might even argue the East is stronger now. On top of that, the talent in the NBA seems evenly spread throughout, less super teams and more complete units. With all this being said, a slow shift has happened. Balance and order seem to be restored in the NBA, but it might not be for long. In recent history, the Western Conference has had the stronger teams. The Warriors, Rockets, Clippers, Lakers, etc. Even the Phoenix Suns. And ever since I've been born, it seems collectively that the West has always been better. But championship-wise, throughout the duration of the NBA, that's not always been the case. In the 75 years that the NBA has been around, the East has won 40 championships, and the West has won 35. So actually, the East championship-wise has been more dominant. Well, what about superstar-wise? You'd be surprised. It's pretty even as well. Jordan, LeBron, Bird, Bill Russell were in the East, while Magic, Kobe, Tim Duncan, Curry were in the West. Then a few others played pretty evenly in both conferences, like Wilt, Kareem, etc. But it's been pretty clear throughout the existence of the NBA, there was always a superior conference in certain periods of time. In the 40s and 50s, the West was dominant, led by the Minneapolis Lakers. In the 60s, the East was dominant, led by the Celtics. The 70s was led by the East, but not a single franchise reigning over. The 80s was the only other time the NBA was so balanced, between the Lakers and Celtics, and this is what helped revitalize the NBA. From a neutral's point of view, balance is the most exciting, and this is why the NBA was given a big booster after this. In the 90s, the Bulls and the East reigned superior. Since then, up until 2018, the NBA was tilted in the favor of the West, and it started getting real bad. Everyone complains about the mid-2000s East and the teams LeBron faced to get to the finals during then and in the 2010s. Everyone was getting bored of the same old Warriors, Cavs over and over again. So when the Warriors were finally beaten, head offices, players alike, saw an opening for a new chapter of the league. And for me personally, the last 4 years of NBA basketball have been some of the most exciting. The deconstruction of super teams is what caused this. Superstars and talent is scattered throughout the NBA unlike it's ever been, and that's perfect. Now, almost every NBA team has something exciting about them. You used to not be able to say that. No one was excited to see the 2011-12 Charlotte Bobcats play. No one was excited. And no one was actually excited to watch the process, other than to just point fingers and laugh at how bad they were. Now every team in the league you can genuinely say has a chance to make the playoffs. If the Houston Rockets made the playoffs this year, I wouldn't totally be shocked. Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, KPJ, that's a good unit of guys. Even if the Orlando Magic made the playoffs this year, I'd be like, yep, I completely understand how that happened. But yet again, you used to not be able to say these things about the majority of the teams in the league. Now you can say it about pretty much everybody. The NBA is the most balanced it's ever been. The draft has been fortuitous to small markets and has built up guys who want to stick it out there. Milwaukee, a small market, is dominant through the draft. Memphis, another small market team, is building something similar as well, and many others will surely follow. This all seems fine and dandy and looks to be great for the growth of the NBA. But is this NBA balance anything more than just a trend? What's going on in the NBA, I think most hardcore NBA fans can agree, is refreshing. New teams are becoming dominant, and everyone looks capable of winning. But with sports and anything in general, it's hard to strike a balance. Teams and conferences will always find ways to become much better than the rest, and that's inevitable. But the way the NBA is becoming structured throughout the draft and the growth of the NBA throughout the whole world, it looks like it will never be as lopsided as it used to be. As we know, competition is what keeps the game healthy, and what brings new people to this beloved game. That was shown when the NBA was almost down and out in the 80s. A level of balance is always what keeps things healthy in life, and this is no different in the NBA. And this unacknowledged shift that's gone on the last 4 to 5 years definitely has the NBA in the right direction. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and as always, stay rested. See you in the next one.